What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. First off, as always, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, but we are back here on the good old grind here in NBA 2K25. And today I decided I want to go back in the Stephen Curry era once again. This time I actually uploaded a custom roster to add some of the missing players, but today we're going to jump in the Stephen Curry era, do my favorite team, the Portland Trailblazers. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. But as I said, I did import a custom roster because there's a lot of missing players I didn't realize, that weren't on this roster in NBA 2K25. So here we are for my Portland Trailblazers. But of course, someone pointed out to me the very first time I did a Stephen Curry era rebuild here in 2K25, you had guys like, of course, John Wall missing. So we went ahead and imported a custom roster, and this one seems to be pretty good because, someone also pointed out to me in the last video that the Blazers in 2K's regular Stephen Curry era roster, there's only like 6 players on the Blazers roster, but that has been fixed. Obviously, still not very good. Outside of Dame and CJ, we don't have a lot of good talent. Of course, they eventually trade Plumlee for Nurkic, and Nurkic becomes pretty solid. But yeah, and then Azili never really plays a game for the Blazers. So we got a lot to figure out here for sure. We're in the 2016 season. The Blazers end up making the conference finals in 2019. So if I can somehow, do that again, but actually have a roster that seems legitimately able to contend, that's where I want to go with this today. So let's just go ahead and simulate. Also, again, like I said, Blake Griffin's here as well. So there's a lot of guys that aren't on this roster that are here now, which is awesome. So let's take a look at this rotation, though. So Dame and CJ, of course, will be leading the way. You got Mo Harkless, Noah Vonleh, Mason Plumlee. One guy I noticed who's not here is Al-Farouq Aminu, which sucks, but it's all good. I think he imported Crab and Myers Leonard. So there's some guys that weren't here that he imported, which is really cool. So let's go ahead, though, simulate year one with this Blazers roster. Obviously, it looks like we got a lot of work to do. Dame and CJ, I don't know if we'll keep them together or not, but obviously Dame is the guy we're building around here. The Blazers failed to do so, so here I am taking over back in 2016 to see if I can do a better job than the Blazers did in real life. So let's see how year one goes. Today's video is brought to you by 2 softwares designed to help you beat the sports books and become a much powerful sports bettor. We're starting on Daily Grind Fantasy's Optimizer. So if you plan apps such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or any of those popular DFS steps nowadays, having a tool like this is insanely clutch. If we take a look at a decent play on the board right now, you got kicking points under 7.5 on Jake Moody. As you can see, got some books even listing this at 6.5. DraftKings at 7.5 with the -130 juiced, obviously, on the under. So that's why we like this play over on PrizePicks. Outside of that, there's not a ton of great value on the board. Very dry this morning, not gonna lie. You got a CS2 play under 18.5 headshots. You got one book listing at 17.5 with the juice heavily favored on the under at 17.5, -191 odds, which is kind of crazy. Another software I absolutely love is OddsJam Positive EV tool. So this obviously kind of focuses on your traditional sports books such as FanDuel, DraftKings, and obviously I don't have those sports books selected right now. So if I go to DraftKings, FanDuel, maybe we'll have some more plays come in. So yeah, we got not much. Miami Marlins first half run line +1.5, but as you can see at +158, you'd be getting the best possible odds here. It wouldn't make any sense to go to BetMGM and bet this at +120. We can get much better at +158. So if you want to check out OddsJam or Daily Grind Fantasy's Optimizer, both links are down in the description below. You get a code, or you get a percentage off your first month when you use my code Crushables. Make sure to use those. And last but certainly not least, do not sign up for PrizePicks. Right now is an insanely good time. It looks like they actually added another free square on Caleb Williams. They had one on him yesterday as well. They went ahead and ran it back. So that's pretty cool of PrizePicks, not going to lie. So make sure to check out PrizePicks. Use code Crushables to match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. It is a great time with football starting and basketball right around the corner. And then you'll have hockey. So all 4 major sports will be going on at the same time. Ton of value to take advantage of. Make sure to check it out. On that, let's get back to the rebuild. So at the end of year number 1, LeBron James went MVP. Got Blake Griffin winning Rookie of the Year. Obviously, was not a rookie at this point, but because he's an imported player, that's why it's reading it that way. Iguodala is your 6th man of the year. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player. Nikola Jokic, Most Improved. And Steve Kerr is your Coach of the Year. And Hunter Thomas is your Executive. So All-NBA first team got Russ, James Harden, LeBron, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins. All-NBA second team, John Wall, Stephen Curry, Durant, Blake Griffin, and Karl-Anthony Towns. All-NBA third team, Jimmy Butler, Chris Paul, Giannis, Kawhi, Jokic, and all defensive first team and all defensive second team. But it is cool to see that we actually made the playoffs as the 6th seed. I don't feel like we're that talented of a roster yet, so it is really exciting and encouraging that we made the playoffs already. So obviously, as you can see, Dame and CJ led the way really nicely, 28.5 points per game and 24 respectively. So those guys did their thing. They're both locked up for 5 years, so we could continue to build around them, or like I said, we could trade one or figure that out. So we'll figure that out as we go along. But let's find out if we can beat the Spurs around 1. I highly doubt it. Obviously, this is prime Kawhi Leonard time. They got Aldridge, who had just left the Blazers to go to the Spurs. I really wish he would have stayed. It would have been interesting to see what him, Dame, and CJ could have done together. But unfortunately, he didn't see it through. And we're going to respectfully beat him for doing that. So we're going to beat the Spurs in round 1. That's a great start to this video. But now we get the Clippers. Obviously, you have Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Obviously, the Clippers had the big Clippers curse. They could never get past round 2, it felt like. And obviously, I don't think our team is like that talented that we should go to the conference finals, but I guess you never know. And we are going to get beaten 5. But it is encouraging that we made it to the second round. But obviously, we got a lot of work still left to do. You got the Cavs and the Warriors, and the Cavs go on to win it all in 5 games. All right. You got Jason Terry, Metta World Peace, and Mike Miller all retiring. So let's go straight to the draft lottery. So draft lottery time. This is when the Blazers had 3 first-round picks. We got Memphis's pick. We got 2 other first-round picks. Obviously, I think in this scenario in real life, they walked away with Zach Collins, I think. And was that it? I feel like they walked away with someone else, but for some reason, it's escaping me on who else they got. But I want to make sure we do a lot better with these draft picks, basically. So number 14 is what we're going to get from Memphis. So we do have a lottery pick nonetheless. We got 14, we get 21, and we get number 30. So nothing too crazy. Number 30, 21, and 14. So like I said, we're going to do our best to take advantage with these draft picks. We can move up. We can, trade them for veterans, whatever we want to do. Not sure what I'm going to go do with those picks just yet, but I'm going to explore every option. Like I said, Terry Stotts, also the head coach. I'll leave that the way it is, considering we made the playoffs. But yeah, I want to make sure we explore all avenues to build around Damian Lillard. We did a poor job in real life, and I want to see if I can rewrite that. So we have Evan Turner's contract. Gosh, such a pitiful contract. Vonleh's, I don't think Vonleh was actually making this much money ever back then. So this roster isn't perfect, but whatever. Evan Turner, of course, got that abysmal contract. Myers Leonard was making quite a bit of money. And you got some other guys making money that shouldn't be. But we're going to explore, like I said, a trade scenario with these draft picks first. And then I'll see if there's anything on the table that I like. If not, we'll draft 3 new rookies to this team. But preferably, I would like to get someone that would really help out this roster going forward. So I actually have a few guys in mind that I want to see if I can make a move for. 2 guys would probably be somewhat impossible to get. There's another dude that I think will be possible to get. But let's go ahead and see if we can start here with maybe a banger today. So I'm going to go to Chicago, and I'm going to go to Indiana. Of course, this is right around the time where Paul George gets traded, or it's, coming up, of course. And then Jimmy Butler, of course, gets traded as well. So I want to see if I can get one of them. I think Jimmy Butler would obviously be awesome on this team. Even if that means trading CJ McCollum, I think trading Jimmy Butler for CJ could be kind of beneficial for us going forward. Obviously, Dame and CJ would be, I think, fantastic together. So what did Jimmy Butler do for the Bulls last year is what I'm obviously kind of wondering. So locked up for 3 more years, 27 points per game. So incredible stuff. But obviously a much better defender than CJ McCollum ever was. So I want to see if I can do this without trading CJ. But I'm going to try. I doubt I'll be able to. But I'm going to try to do this without, CJ being in this trade for now. So I'm offering 14, 21, and 30. All these draft picks on draft night. 2019 unprotected. I doubt they'll accept this, but we're going to offer this anyway. So they're going to say no. I'm going to do the same thing for Indiana's Paul George and just see what that's looking like. But if that means if we have to trade CJ McCollum to get one of these 2, I think I'm down to do it. So we're going to explore that. So do I want Paul George or do I want Jimmy Butler? I kind of like the idea of Paul George a little bit better just because, obviously a little bit. I mean, we got to pay him next year. They're both incredible players. So I'm going to see if I could do a CJ McCollum for Paul George swap. I don't know if they would do it, but I'll offer 21 and 30 and see if we can keep this 14th pick. So CJ McCollum, 21 and 30 for Paul George. What do you say? They say no. I'll offer number 2019 unprotected as well. And then I'll offer Myers Leonard. I don't know if that's going to make a difference at all. And then, do you want Evan Turner as well? No. So that's not doing it for them. Okay, what if we go Chicago and ask for Jimmy Butler for the same offer? What do they say to that? And they don't agree either. So maybe we can't get one of the guys I was thinking about. So unfortunately, that would be like my best offer for those 2. Okay, the other guy I kind of like the idea of getting is Orlando Serge Ibaka, although he's restricted. So never mind, that's not going to happen either. So can't make that happen. Unfortunately for us, we are just going to have to draft, which is fine. I wanted to try for somebody. It didn't work out. So which is obviously what the Blazers pretty much, you know, always said back then as well. But Kyle Kuzma, Tatum, you got Lauri Markkanen. Maybe it would have been good for us to trade up, but I'm actually fine with walking away with 3 rookies in this draft and seeing what we can do with them. So, Markelle Fultz and then OG Anunoby. So, OG obviously would have been awesome for us, but I mean, we got Bam Adebayo falling this far to us, so we got to feel pretty good about that. Also, Jarrett Allen. So it's not like we don't have a scrub, you know, falling to us. So I think we got to take Bam Adebayo here, though. This is insanely awesome. I think we do that. So Bam Adebayo, welcome to Portland. Okay, and I want to see if I can trade up with these other 2 picks because we do have someone on the board, which Jarrett Allen's still available. I mean, there's definitely some guys still available. So let's see who has, like, I don't know, one of these top picks coming up. So we have 21 and 30, but let's say we offer this to Miami for 16. What do they say to that? They say no. I'll offer you Myers Leonard as well, and they do agree. So number 15 is gonna go Luke Kennard. Okay, so at number 16, do we want Jonathan Isaac? Do we want Dylan Brooks? Do we want Jarrett Allen? Isaiah Hartenstein? Is there anybody else we're missing out on here that we could? I mean, got Derek White in the draft class as well. A lot of great options here, but I don't know. I think we're going to go. I kind of like the idea of solving our center rotation with just drafting Jarrett Allen. So having Jarrett Allen and Bam Adebayo as our 5s going forward. I don't mind that. Isaac would be cool as well. Obviously becomes a really good defender. And so do I want Isaac or do I want Bam Adebayo? I think we should, or sorry, Jarrett Allen. I think I'll take Jonathan Isaac. We'll do Jonathan Isaac and Bam Adebayo as our draft picks in this draft class. That gives us 2 really good defending players. Which I do like. So Isaac, Bam Adebayo, Jarrett Allen would have been a 7-4 overall. So I think it did pretty solid. So we'll do that. Welcome to Portland, both of you. Should be impactful players right away. Azili's team option. I'm going to accept it, even though, of course, he never really plays for Portland. I'm going to accept it anyway, just because, you know, Plumlee's also a free agent, who's a really good backup 5 in his own right. So I like the idea that we could bring him back as well. And now we have money to spend on anybody in free agency, on whoever we please to sign. Okay. Let's see. So we got Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Connaughton, Mo Harkless, Turner, Allen Crabbe, Jonathan Isaac. So a lot going on at the small forward spot. Noah Vonleh. I think I'll play Isaac at the 5 and Azili. Mem Adebayo will figure out what to do. Obviously, we'll sign Miles Turner back, and then, or sorry, not Miles Turner. Mason Plumlee. Miles Turner is on the Pacers. Okay, and now we need to figure out. So I'm going to sign Mason Plumlee to a contract to bring him back. So now we got to figure out what we're going to do. We have a bunch of salaries I feel like we could throw together, though, to do something. So that is what we're going to look at doing. So Mason Plumlee's back, which is great. So now I want to see if I can throw a salary at someone to get a better small forward. Because if we throw Isaac at the 5 and have Bam Adebayo and Plumlee as our center rotation, I want a better forward. I'm still open to Tracy McCollum if I need to. But if I can find, like, I think getting Bam and Isaac as defenders down low is already incredible around Dame and CJ. So if we can find a small forward that could do that same thing, that would be awesome. And that is my ultimate goal here. So not a ton of great options that I like, but I'm going to try to see if we can get Otto Porter off the Washington Wizards. He's making a pretty decent amount of money, but he does put up decent numbers with 11 points, and I think eventually becomes a pretty good shooter. Obviously, was very pivotal in that Warriors championship a few years ago at this point or whatever. But let's go ahead and see if we can make this happen somehow. So Evan Turner and Azili won't get it done. What if I offer my 2018 first for Otto Porter? They don't agree to that. I'm assuming we're going to be a good team, which is why I'm comfortable with doing this, especially if we get Otto Porter on this team. But so far, they're not budging. I throw you Allen Crabbe, which that's just too much money. So let's remove Evan Turner's salary. Let's say it's just Azili's salary. So Crabbe, a first-round pick in 2 seconds for Otto. What do you say? No. Still not budging to this. So if we can't get Otto Porter here, then I think I might just run it with what we got right now. And I'll also offer Pat Connaughton. Does that get it done? It does. Wow. So Pat Connaughton in the trade gets it done. Okay. So get Otto Porter. We traded it a little bit just to get him, but I do think he was a very necessary piece to get. I really like the addition of him. And now we have kind of our rotation. So Dame, CJ, you got obviously Mo Harkless, Evan Turner. These 2 guys obviously are never going to play. This guy won't either. So I guess at this point, all we could really use the backup guard going forward. So you got Darren Williams, Rajon Rondo, or you got like Jody Meeks, Aaron Aflalo, who played in Portland for like half a season. I guess we have Michael Carter-Williams down here as well at 25 years old, who might still develop. So I'll throw him an offer. Nice little tall point guard off the bench. Let's see if he wants to come over to Portland. He does. So we get ourselves a backup point guard, and that will be our offseason. So player progression should be interesting. So Dame and CJ are down. Otto Porter is up, which is great to see after we just traded for him. Vonleh's up to a 77 overall. Didn't really expect to see that coming, but I'll take it. And then obviously Bam and Isaac are the two guys we're kind of banking on to develop around Dame and CJ, and hoping that they turn into the guys, especially Bam Adebayo. We obviously need Bam Adebayo to develop into the player he becomes one day. So we'll load this 2018 draft class. We'll simulate year number 2, and we will see how we do with Jonathan Isaac joining the fold with Dame, or Jonathan Isaac and Bam Adebayo joining the fold with Dame and CJ. Also the addition of Otto Porter. At the end of year number 2, LeBron James here with another MVP. De'Aaron Fox, Rookie of the Year on the Bucks. Iguodala, 6-man. Kawhi Leonard, Defensive Player. And then you got Emmanuel Mudiay, Most Improved. And Tyronn Lue, Coach of the Year. And Nicholas Brown is your executive. So I did stop at the trade deadline to explore the idea of trading away CJ McCollum, but nothing really popped up that I liked, unfortunately. Now, depending on how these playoffs go, we might still look into that, but Bam Adebayo makes an all-rookie first team, which is exciting to see. So average 12.5 and 7 out of the gate, which is what we want to see. So we end up as the 7th seed in the West. We take a look at the player stats. Like I said, a little disappointed, but 23 from Dame, 20 from CJ, 12 and 12 from Otto and Bam, and then 11 from Mo Harkless, 8 from Noah Vonleh, 8 from Isaac, and then 7 from Mason Plumlee. But we'll see how this goes. At one point, we were the 2nd seed in the West, and just kind of we fell off, unfortunately. But we're going to run a 9-man rotation for these playoffs. They want to start Mo Harkless over Jonathan Isaac, which I guess is fine or whatever. So let's just see if we come out here and beat the Denver Nuggets in round 1, who obviously have a young Jokic. We got Gallinari, Jabari Parker joined Denver as well. So let's see what happens. Somebody come around against the Nuggets, and we are going to be down 3-2. But we are in a competitive series with them, which is nice. But let's see if we can beat them here. So Jonathan Isaac will be the starter again. And we'll see if we can win Game 6 to force a Game 7 back to Denver. Going to be a close one, it's looking like, as we've taken the lead a few times here, but Denver's ultimately held on for the most part. And they are going to allow... No, we lose. Wow, 108 to 107, lose at the very end. So unfortunately for us, we go home in 6th. Next year is the very next year. I believe the Blazers make it to the conference finals. So let's see if we can do that again, as Durant stayed in the Golden State Warriors, and they won a championship. Steph left and went to the Bulls, I saw. Other than that, here are your retirements. So my goal is to ultimately trade CJ for a better defending wing if I can. It's not been easy to try to do, though, not gonna lie. So you got number 1 Atlanta, and then we traded our pick to the Wizards, so it ends up being 19. So maybe they get a good gem out of this draft class. Terry Stotts, I could fire him and go for somebody else potentially. Do we want to do that? We got like Don Nelson out here, Jacob Underwood, Stauffer, Trent Peterson. So I think we'll fire Terry Stotts. I didn't really like him as a coach at some point, so we can go and get rid of him. I'll offer Steve Kerr, but it doesn't look like we have enough. I'll offer Don Nelson as well. Don't look like we have enough, though. Michael Stauffer, I guess we'll offer, because there's running. I guess we have a couple of new, like we got Jason Kidd down here as well. We'll offer Jason Kidd and see if we get any of them. So far, Michael Stauffer's the only one we might get, and he's not even going to sign. So we don't get any of our head coach options we were going for. So we got this guy, which I guess looks like pretty much our best potential fit. Is there anybody else? No. So I guess we're going to just go for this guy here, Stephen Howard or whatever. So welcome to Portland. Don't know if that's going to change much, but welcome regardless. So we get Stephen Howard on the Blazers. And now, again, I'll throw CJ McCollum in there. I don't think we're going to get a good trade. So, like, Middleton's being offered to us, but Kevin Love is interesting. Paul Millsap, also someone interesting, I guess. And then we bring in Paul Millsap, and we move, Isaac to the 3. I don't mind that, but him being 32 years old kind of scares me, not going to lie. Let's see. I mean, what else were they throwing in that trade if we did that? So get Dwight Howard as well. Paul Millsap averaging 16. I don't know. I can't get behind it right now. So I think I'm going to just see what the draft class results as. So we got Grant. We're going to decline. But let's see what the Wizards got with that 19th pick. Did they get anybody good that we could have wanted? So they got Robert Williams. So obviously on the Blazers in real life now. But once again, my goal, like I said, is to try to trade CJ for something that help us out. We'll see if we're able to do that. One player I'm going to try for here is a young Ben Simmons. If you move this man to small forward or power forward, he goes up like crazy. So that's what I'm going to try to accomplish here. So obviously, Ben Simmons becomes a really bad player in real life, but at this point, he was still insanely good in the NBA. So that's why I don't hate this. And obviously, this was something that was kind of discussed back then, but it never ended up happening. As a Blazers fan, I kind of wanted it to happen, but I'm glad it didn't, because Ben Simmons becomes a shell of himself. But regardless, let's see if we can make this happen. So CJ McCollum in 2019 unprotected for Ben Simmons. They're not going to agree to that right away. Okay, fair enough. I'll throw you... You want your boy Michael Carter-Williams back? Potentially, they say no to that. Does Evan Turner? No, that's too much money in this trade. I'll offer you Russell. That's still also too much money. So at this point, it's just draft capital being offered. So 2019, 2020, Michael Carter Williams for Ben. What do you say? They don't agree to that. Vonleh would be too much money, obviously. Isaac might not be. So Isaac would maybe get this trade done, which I might do, low-key, just because I really want Ben Simmons on this team, and he would upgrade us like crazy. So let's say we threw Isaac in here as well. It's going to suck to do it, but Isaac, CJ McCollum, all this for Ben Simmons, and they do agree. So we get Ben Simmons on the Blazers, and he will be insanely awesome to have. So we're going to move him to power forward. He's going to be playing around Damian Lillard and also Bam Adebayo and Otto Porter. So there's going to be a lot of spacing around him. Obviously, Bam isn't much of a shooter, but definitely can at some points. Not at this point in his career, but still, I think getting Ben Simmons is going to help out this roster a ton. So I don't hate it. He's a really good player, especially in the simulation, 19, 10, and 8. I mean, that will give us closer to a championship than I think CJ McCollum would have. Now, obviously losing, like I said, Isaac sucks. Would have loved to have kept him and see what he would have became for us, but I think getting Ben Simmons, exactly what we kind of needed. So I do want to trade Vonleh, though, and get a couple depth pieces if I can. So like Zeller is being offered to us. Zubac, a young Zubac. We have to trade a first to do that. We just traded 2 for Ben Simmons, so I don't really want to do that. And a Scanter. Is there anybody? Nothing I really like being offered to me. I guess we get like a Austin Rivers. I think that gives us a guard that I kind of, you know what? I'm going to do this. Vonleh for Austin Rivers. We're going to do this trade. Gives us a backup shooting guard. So we'll have, I guess it gives us a starter right now, technically. And then Evan Turner's contract, we'll figure something out. So center rotation is fine with me still. Evan Turner, we're going to try to trade away. Rivers, I don't really want to start this year, clearly. But we'll see if we have to go that route, which maybe we do. Maybe we will have to go that route. Gary Harris is also out here, but we don't have the money for that. But I'll see what I can get for Evan Turner. So I'm going to see if I can get something decent for these two. I don't care what it is. Like J.R. Smith being offered to me at this point. Zubac, again, which is a good offer. I actually kind of like the idea of bringing a Zubac. Maybe we trade Plumlee away. I don't know. We have to trade a second to do this, but we get a good backup 5. I'm going to do this trade with the Lakers. We get Zubac. Turner goes to the Lakers. And then now we can see what Plumlee can get us to. Hopefully he can get us like a good shooting guard. So Michael Carter Williams being offered to me. J.R. Smith, Alex Lynn, Parsons, Myers Leonard. I don't really want him back. Joakim Noah, Lou Williams. Not really a starter in my opinion. Bojan. And one thing we could also do, like Terrence Ross being offered, wouldn't be fine. Wouldn't be too bad as well. One thing we could also do though is we could just go to the last day of free agency and see what's offered to us then. But we do have our starting 5, which is great, and we're gonna figure out the rest. But let's go to day 12 of free agency, and we do have Mo Harkless out here as well, so that's gonna be helpful. So we'll sign Mo Harkless, sign him back, no problem there. So sign Mo Harkless, and then let's go to the last day of free agency and see if we can snag somebody on day 12. That's what we'll do. So day 12 of free agency, see if we can get anybody here, and if there's anyone, it might all be gone at this point though. Let's see, all positions, is that everybody? So we got a young Malik Beasley who's wanting $19 million. Outside of that, not a lot of great options out here left. Derek Favors, but again, not going to sign for that much. I doubt it. So yeah, he says no to that. Is there anybody else signed? We don't want to look at that. So Derek Favors, got Malik Beasley. He would be pretty cool to bring in, but again, he's not going to want $8.58 million, unfortunately. So we're going to have to still make a trade, which I will plan on doing here with Plumlee's contract. Mo Harkless is a good backup small forward, but if we can get a good backup guard, preferably starting shooting guard actually, and get something for that, I think that's where I want to go with this. So we're going to do this trade with the Toronto Raptors. We're going to be sending Austin Rivers and Mason Plumlee over to the Raptors for Norman Powell and Terrence Ross. Obviously, Norman Powell became a Blazer for not very long, but he was a Blazer regardless. So we're going to bring him in to be a Blazer again, but this time he'll start at the shooting guard spot and not the small forward like he did when he played for us. So we bring in Terrence Ross, who will play rotational minutes as well. Our rotation is definitely still slim and needs help, but I do like the roster we threw together here. Let's go see what player progression is looking like. So you got Ben Simmons up to a 91, which is fantastic. Otto Porter 83, 80 from Mo Harkless. 77 for Bam Adebayo, so not progressing enough to what we want to see. Unfortunately, Zubac is up, Norman Powell is up, and Terrence Ross is up. So that's all really good to see. But unfortunately, with Bam not being up to exactly where we want to be, I'm a little nervous about what the season will become. But regardless, I'm excited about what we have done to this point. I feel like we've done a decent job. We traded CJ McCollum. We'll make that move for Ben Simmons. We give up a lot to do it. I'm curious to see what Jonathan Isaac became as well. So we need to look at that in just a second, because trading him definitely really hurt. I wanted to keep him, but let's go see what overall he is for the 76ers now. So he is a 80 overall. So yeah, kind of sucks to have lost him, not gonna lie. Would have loved to have kept him. But we got Damian Lillard, Norman Powell, Otto Porter, Ben Simmons. Zubac is your starter right now. I am going to continue to start Bam Adebayo, but we'll go with that. So Bam Adebayo, Ben Simmons, Mo Harkless, Zubac, Terrence Ross, and then we'll probably just run an 8-man rotation, honestly, this whole season, because we don't have good depth at all, which sucks, but that's where we're at, as a roster right now. So again, I'm going to start Bam over Zubac, and I'm going to roll with that. So let's go ahead. Somewhat this season with this new roster around Damian Lillard, we're 3.5 proficiency. I really like the starting 5. I need Bam to progress. I need to improve the bench, but this is year 3 at this point. We'll see how this team does. No more CJ and everything we've done up to this point. So at the end of year number 3, LeBron James wins himself another MVP award. Luka in Atlanta. Wow, so they actually kept him this time around. Iguodala, 6th man of the year. Giannis, defensive player. Lonzo, most improved in Dallas, and Tyronn Lue, coach of the year in Cleveland. Cleveland obviously has been very good throughout the video with LeBron. Here's your All-NBA first team. Got James Harden, Russ in Brooklyn. Cleveland, LeBron, Giannis, Karl-Anthony Towns. All-NBA second team, Chris Paul. Do we get Damian? Oh, we do get Damian Lillard. So Damian Lillard and Ben Simmons both make an All-NBA team, which is fantastic to see that. Love that. And then all-defensive first team and all-defensive second team. So we end up as a 4th seed in the West. So we get the Phoenix Suns in round 1. So we did pretty good this season. We went from a 7th seed to, again, I'm doing that habit where I click Y, but we went to a 7th seed to a 4th seed, so I got to feel pretty good about that. But you had 23 from Damian Lillard, 20 from Ben Simmons, 14 from Otto Porter, and 14 from Norman Powell. So not too bad. 12 and 8 from Bam Adebayo with almost, I guess, only 1 block, and then 12.5 from Mo Harkless, 11 from Zubac, and 8.5 from Terrence Ross. So let's go ahead and see how this season goes. Mo Harkless is going to start, I guess, over Otto Porter, which I'm not sure I agree with, but whatever. So we get Phoenix in round 1. They got Bledsoe, D Book, Warren, Blake Griffin joins Devin Booker in Phoenix. Okay. Bol is there, or sorry, Mo Bamba, I should say. John Collins, Dragon Bender. Wow, that's a throwback name. Derek Jones and Conrad Booker. So I guess Devin Booker's long lost cousin is on this team as well. All right, somebody current round against the Phoenix Suns. Let's see if we can beat them. And we are down 3-1. So already, I think the Mo Harkless start was not necessary and kind of dumb. But we'll see if we can come back from 3-1 here. I think at this point, losing would not be too surprising considering our depth is kind of cooked. But we'll see if we can come back from 3-1. So we got a close game here. We're running away with it at the end, and we are going to win. So all we got to do is win 1 more, and maybe we force a game 7, and maybe we get out of round 1. But we got to win this one game at a time mentality. So right now, it's a close game still. We have the lead right now. We had it for a second, but unfortunately for us, we're going home. So I like the roster we threw together. I need Bam to progress. I need Bam to develop into an 80-something at least. I just need him to be better than what he is right now. And I think he should. Well, at least I hope anyway. I guess that's my optimism coming in. But draft picks have kind of been nuked to help out this roster with Dame. I've tried to go all in with them. Do I have a better head coach candidate out here? Because I'm going to fire this guy. I'm going to fire him and go get rid of him. I'm going to try to get somebody else. So Darvin Ham, Kenny Atkinson, any of these guys would be great. So Kenny Atkinson, who else can we get? Mike Malone. Mike Malone would be good too. So we'd have the money, it looks like, to get one of these guys. Tom Thibodeau is out here. I'll go Tom Thibodeau as well. So none of them are going to accept. Damn, okay. So don't get any of them. Darvin Ham, I guess. Do I get him? Let's see. And then I'll offer Mike D'Antoni as well. Let's see. Do we have anybody else? Terry Stotts, we're not going to bring him back. Obviously, we need one of those two. And they're all going to reject. That's fantastic, bro. Wow. Okay, so I can't get a damn head coach to save my life today, I guess. All right, what else do we got? Is there anybody else? I mean, at this point, we're just picking from the last guys available, which is just really annoying. But Lenwood Gibson, I guess, welcome to being the head coach of the Blazers. So, unfortunate. Let's go straight to player options, and we're going to see what we can do this offseason to explore upgrade the roster. So, Ben Simmons and Bam will accept. Qualifying offers, we got, let's see, Zubac. We'll definitely have to bring him back. Then free agency. All right. So, Zubac, Terrence Ross, we need to bring both of them back because our depth, like I said, is not good as it is. So, losing anybody would be kind of paramount at this point. So, we're going to re-sign those guys, and we'll see what kind of options we have after that. So, we have Rozier. So, it looks like we actually signed a really good player, which helps out a ton because we need to be able to sign someone good. So, we got Damian Lillard, Norman Powell. We got Otto Porter, Mo Harkless, Terrence Ross. and Zubac, Bam Adebayo. So I think we need to sign a backup guard for sure. I see Rozier. He is restricted, so we got to keep that in mind. Patty Mills, also Wesley Matthews. I'm going to go. I mean, I don't know how we have enough money for. Wait, do we have anybody else that's worth going for before we do that? Gallinari, Ingles, Thad Young, and then you got like Alex Len McGee and guys like that. But I think Rozier, I'm going to offer. I'm going to offer Rozier a contract. I don't know if he'll accept it, but I'm going to offer it anyway. So he signs. So we get Rozier. So we get ourselves a backup point guard. That's going to be awesome. Ingles, Monty Morris. Or Marcus Morris. That's probably or Marcus Morris. So if anything, we need a backup power forward, and I don't know if that's still here. Olynyk could definitely play backup power forward. We got also Maurice Spates, Gibson. I will go Kelly Olynyk though and play him at the power forward, so I'll do that. So Olynyk, if he signs, will be our power forward. So I like that. Okay. And then now we need to figure out if Bam's going to progress, because if he doesn't progress, I might have to make a move with him, because I just can't wait any longer for him. So we're going to see if that ends up being the case or not. So let's go to player progression, and let's hope Bam Adebayo goes up like I think he should. And he still, I can't do it anymore with him. Bam, I love you and all, but you're not doing what I'm thinking. You're not doing it, man. So who do I trade though to make this happen is the question. I don't mind Bam as our backup 5, but I can't continue to sit here and pretend. So we could trade either Mo Harkless or Terrence Ross probably, but we need a backup 5, or we need a starting center who's ready to contend right now, and Bam just isn't developing, unfortunately. So I am gonna throw Mo Harkless and Bam Adebayo or Zubac, who is making more money, and we're going to trade a first, another one here in this video, and we're going to see if we can get a good center. We're going to be doing this trade for Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka, 84 overall. We get a first round pick and return as well. We're trading Mo Harkless to do this, unfortunately, but we have to do something. We get ourselves a center in Serge Ibaka. If we move him to center, he should. He stays the same. So Serge Ibaka will be our starting center with Bam backing him up. So that is what we're going to go with. Obviously, Serge Ibaka is also an incredible fit next to Ben Simmons as well. 34% from 3 as a big isn't too bad. So I will take that. And that definitely hurts our depth just a little bit, but I'm okay with it. This will probably be the final season we go with. So that was the final move here. Hopefully it ends up working out for us. Let's go take a look at the rotation. The Pirates can only 5th overall, so they're pretty high on us. Our head coach isn't the best situation. I wish it would have been somebody different, but it is what it is. I think we've put together a pretty good roster around Ben and Dame, and we'll see if it translates. Unfortunately, we have not been able to get the head coach we want today, but regardless, we're happy with the roster. So, final roster: Damian Lillard, Norman Powell, Otto Porter, Ben Simmons, Ibaka, with Rozier, Bam Adebayo, Terrence Ross, and Olynyk as your rotation. We'll shrink bench utilization down to 50, and we'll go down in rotation, and we'll see how this season goes. This man just can't stop winning MVPs today. LeBron James with another MVP. John Morant's in the league at this point, and here are your awards. So, All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, get Ben Simmons, and then no Damian Lillard this time around, but Ben Simmons makes it 94 overall. So, we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes. Second seed in the Western Conference. Would love to get to the conference finals at least this season, because we've gotten to the second round in this video, but outside of that, not much success. So, let's go ahead and see if we can beat the Jazz in round 1. So at this point, they have John Wall, Gobert together, and outside of that, not a whole lot going on. Malik Monk, Troy Brown Jr., Trey Lyles, but we'll see what happens against John Wall and Gobert. So make sure we're not doing anything stupid this time around. I think starting Maurice Harkless really hurt us last time. So game 1 goes to us. Good start. Game 2 goes to us. Love that. And we're going to sweep the Jazz, it looks like, hopefully. And we do. So we beat them in 4, and we're on to the second round. Now we get the Sacramento Kings or the Dallas Mavericks. So I don't know who I'd rather have. It is going to be the Kings, though. So the Kings at this point, they have Moutier, Powell, Jabari Parker. They have Boogie Cousins. So obviously DeMarcus Cousins, definitely a force to be reckoned with back then. Jabari Parker, unfortunately, never got to stay healthy. Was pretty solid. And then, unfortunately, like I said, got hurt and really derailed his career. Leo Powell, though, I think is a fake player that was in one of those draft classes. But so he's up to a pretty good overall as well. All right, so you got San Antonio and the Clippers, and you got the Spurs winning over there. So Cleveland, Toronto, Philadelphia, and Boston. So classic Philly, Boston, and we get LeBron toe, of course, back then. DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry could never take down LeBron and Kyrie, but we'll see if they can do it this time around. All right, let's see if we can beat Sacramento. So game 1 is going to go to us. Good start. Game 2 is going to go to them. Game 3 goes to them, and we lose by 1 in that one. That's definitely heartbreaking. Okay. So let's see if we can even this series, or if we're going to go home in round 2 like we have in this video. And it's looking like we might go home in round 2, as we're getting absolutely blown out here. So, fortunately for us, maybe we have not thrown together the roster to go win a championship with Dame. I did my very best, but unfortunately we might fall short of our goal here today. I think this will be the first video where I didn't win a championship in 2K25, unless if I come back from a massive deficit here, which is possible in 2K. A lot of crazy things happen, and we do barely win that one. So we do win game 5. If we can win game 6, we're in a game 7. So you never truly know. I'm going to go to 8-man rotation. Let's go 8-man rotation. Backs against the wall. Let's see if we can win this game 5 to force win this game 6, force a game 7. It's not looking like that's going to happen right now unless we get back in the game. And no. So unfortunately for us, we threw together a solid roster, but it's not going to end well today. And I'm okay with that. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. But, and with my favorite team, it doesn't work out the way I wanted it to. So let's go see who wins the championship. It is going to be the Sacramento Kings. So the team we lost to went on to win it all. But I'm going to end it there, man. I think waiting on Bam Adebayo to develop probably hurt us in the long run. What did Jonathan Isaac turn into today? He turned into a 85. Wow, we maybe made a mistake by doing that trade, unfortunately. So he probably would have been awesome to have. Maybe I should have kept CJ and Dame together. I don't know. We'll never truly know, unfortunately. I did my best. I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. Unfortunately, didn't even make it to the conference finals today, which really sucks. But overall, I'll see you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.